Welcome back to Crystal Harbor, where in this episode I'll be expanding to this island over here. I have wanted to expand to it for quite a while now, because it's right next to the main areas of the city and it's quite a big building area here. I can basically build in all the flat spots over here. And with the release of City Skylines 2 just around the corner, it's about 10 days out. This is probably gonna be the last area of this city that I build. I did originally have plans of expanding all throughout here as well, but I don't think that's gonna happen, because the series has gone quite a bit slower than I expected because of other IRL stuff I have had to do. So yeah, this will probably be the last big area that I build. I won't finish it all in this episode. I will probably build just about like half of it, or maybe even less. And yeah, it should be pretty nice. My main idea for this area is for it to be kind of like a touristy area with a bunch of attractions, with hotels, stuff like that. I'm not really sure how I will achieve that look yet, how I will distinguish it from other higher density areas. This will probably be the second highest density area of the whole city, with the first of course being the downtown bit here. This island will also have a bunch of skyscrapers and stuff like that. And also it will not have just one bridge like this. I will probably connect up a few more at least. I'm thinking one over this land mass over here, right next to the train tracks, and maybe another one over this road here, just for increased traffic flow. I'm not exactly sure what I will do yet. But yeah, connecting it up to the rest of the city is probably the first thing I have to do. So let's start with that.
Dig a hole to heaven, straight up to heaven. We can leave this dirty world behind, eternal life shining in our eyes. All of our problems, we'll never have to solve them. Everything in perfect harmony, we manifest exactly what we think. But I'm not ever gonna die, I'm just gonna fantasize forever, forever, forever and a day. Let's go to outer space, straight up to outer space.
And now that the connections into this part of the city are done, with three big, nice, beautiful bridges and a railway connection as well, I can start building the actual city itself. I already placed this train station, just so there is a rail connection. There will also be a metro connection somewhere next to it. I will place a metro station. And yeah, the idea is that this end of the city will be the more high density one, and this one, I don't know, it will still be high density, probably not just single family houses and stuff like that, but it won't be like glass skyscrapers and stuff like that. So let's start placing some buildings.
Forever in a day.
So I just made a pretty basic road layout for this area here, and I didn't put all the roads in right away because I will be hand placing a lot of buildings, and a lot of them are ploppable as well, so I won't really know how big they are from memory. So I would rather just place some buildings and build the roads kind of like around them, you know. But these spaces here I think will work pretty nicely. For instance, this space I on purpose left for this kind of hotel looking building here. I can actually place it right now. So yeah, that is basically how this area will look like. Obviously there will be a bit more attractions next to the coast. I also had to do a little bit of terraforming because the coast is actually quite high up here. I noticed that a bit late actually. So I lowered this area down, so the coastline is kind of a little more flat, but not all of it. So now the city is a little bit hilly, but that shouldn't affect any building placements or anything like that. It's really a shallow hill. So yeah, let's start placing some buildings now. And so now while I'm placing the buildings in this city, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the future of it. Because as I said before, City Skylines 2 gets released pretty soon, and I had a bunch of big plans for this city, a bunch of areas that I wanted to build out, but since the series went a bit slower than I initially expected, I will not be able to build all of these areas before the release of City Skylines 2. If I don't make any more videos about this city, then this island area will basically be the last area, and there will only be about like 1 or 2 videos about this city left before the release of City Skylines 2. Now the other option is that even after City Skylines 2 gets released, I still occasionally make a video about this city and still continue expanding it a bit. So I wanted to ask if that is something that you would be interested in watching, because I really don't know if anybody would even want to watch City Skylines 1 content after City Skylines 2 is released. So please comment your opinion below. Either you want City Skylines 1 content with this city specifically, or you don't, or you would prefer City Skylines 2 content. So the area I'm building right now is the first big area of the city. Of course, the other half will be a bit quicker to build because it will be lower density. And I'm planning on that being actually the last video of this city, because the next video after this one will probably be me building the zoo and the park surrounding the city. That's my plan, at least for now. But my plans don't always go well to plan, so we will see about that. And currently for City Skylines 2, I'm thinking about continuing the kind of content that I have on City Skylines 1, with just one main city build at the beginning that I actually want to be fully like 100% vanilla. And then maybe a bit later on I will simultaneously start a second city build with mods. And of course there will still be the occasional random video in the middle of it of just like a time-lapse compilation, or if there's a competition again or something, just some fun videos like that. If you have any ideas of what you would like to see in City Skylines 2, then please comment them, because any ideas would be greatly appreciated. Because as you can see, I'm just starting out on YouTube, so I don't really know what people really want to watch yet. So just comment below what you want, and I could probably do my best to make a video about that. Anyways, I will just stop talking now and let you enjoy the time-lapse. So now most of the buildings in this kind of second downtown area have been placed. It's basically just another area with a bunch of skyscrapers and a nice low density area in the background here as well. Although it is getting abandoned a little bit because the land value hasn't climbed up quite yet. But it will get there eventually, or at least it should. I will also be building a zoo over here and a regular park over here, but that's probably in the next episode. And those should help increase the land value as well. Over in this direction of the island, I want to fill all of this out as well. Most of this will be low density with just some single family homes, but there will also be some condos and stuff like that, but no high rises like this. This is the only area that will have high rises. So yeah, now it's time to detail this entire area. Just add some trees, some paths, some vegetation, stuff like that. Now while I'm detailing this area, I actually had another question, which is, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a time-lapse with some commentary of what I'm doing, kind of like this? Or do you prefer just some music in the background and just a nice peaceful time-lapse basically? Because some of these time-lapses can get pretty long, because I sometimes get carried away with stuff like detailing. I mean, this one is one of them. This time-lapse is about 6 minutes long until I start speaking again. And I feel like a lot of people just click off the video during that time, so I'm thinking of maybe adding some voiceover in the middle of the time-lapse, just to make it a bit more interesting. So, what do you think of that? Should I do it, or should I keep the time lapses as is with just some music playing? In my opinion, detailing your builds is one of the most important things to do, because you can have a perfect layout, you can have some amazing assets placed in the perfect places, but if you don't do any detailing, your whole build will just look kind of empty. And you can take detailing really far, but it's not really always needed. I mean, I would say I actually detail everything pretty quickly. My detailing just basically boils down to placing some bushes and some trees and making some pathways for people to walk on. Now, there is some people, like, for instance, there's a smaller channel called KnoopCities Towns, who just goes absolutely crazy with detailing. And, well, his cities do look better than mine, but he does spend probably hours and hours making all the small details. I mean, in one of his videos he made a train station and he individually placed the banners with track numbers inside of the station. And I'm just not really willing to go that far with detailing. So for me, I just make some pathways to make my city really walkable. That's also one of my big priorities while building a city. And I just place some trees and some bushes and some flowers, just stuff like that. I also like to add a bunch of parking, which in City Skylines 1 right now is still mainly for looks, but in City Skylines 2 it will also be way more functional, because people won't be able to just despawn cars and basically just put the cars in their pocket and move on. And this kind of detailing style, where I just place these bushes around the edges of the park and just some trees or something in the middle, I really use that quite a lot. And while if you start thinking about it, it can seem pretty repetitive, overall when you just look at the city, it looks really nice in my opinion. Now you can also do something more unique, like I'm doing here with these stone archways, but if you're building a big city, there's only so much unique ideas you can have before you run out. And now this new area is detailed. I basically detailed it in almost the same way as all the other areas of the city, just to keep the style consistent. Basically just added some trees, some bushes, some parks, actually a lot of green spaces in this city. Basically in between every building there's a nice green space. I especially like this one, with this kind of rock tunnel here. It's pretty cool. There's also some smaller details like some statues like this one, or the roundabout decorations like this. Just some actual parks and plazas as well. Yes, basically just stuff like that. And you will notice that I actually left this area over here empty. And as I probably already explained and said before, this will be a zoo. I have already marked out the area of the zoo, but this episode has already taken quite a while and is probably really long already, so this will be built in the next episode, along with this park over here. For now I marked this park's area just a small area like this, but it might actually end up being way bigger because there is some nice mountains here that could be used as a nature reserve. I could maybe create something similar that I did over here with this area. Maybe just have some paths in the mountains and some lookout platforms like this one with a nice view of the city. So yeah, that will basically be it for this episode, and in the next one I'll probably expand into this area. As I said, I'm hoping to finish this build before the release of Cities Skylines 2, but it's already being pretty close to the release. It's basically just a week left now. So we will see if I do that. If I don't, then I might have to return to the city after Cities Skylines 2 is released, but I don't know if I will even do that. So yeah, basically we'll see what happens. I don't really know. So yeah, that'll basically be it for this episode, and see you in the next one.